Met a girl in Oakland, but I don't wanna say her name.
What is up, YouTube? Welcome to another video. Today we are going to do something a little bit different than what I normally do on this channel. If you guys are subscribed to the channel, you know that usually the focus of this channel is men's fashion, men's clothing. I do a lot of clothing unboxings, and if you are interested in that, of course, feel free to subscribe. However, this is going to be a room tour where I show off how I have set up my room, and I guess really this will be the last room tour because normally I don't focus on the kitchen or the bathroom or anything like that, but in my next place, when I set it up, I actually want to do an entire apartment tour. But the main reason that I'm filming this video today is because I'm actually moving either this evening or tomorrow. If you guys would be interested in seeing an apartment tour in my next spot, of course, make sure you smash the like button down below. And also, I am considering actually doing a sneaker collection video and maybe even a Supreme collection video. And the reason for that is because since I'm moving, I have to actually get everything and reorganize it anyway. So if you guys would like to see those, of course, like I said, smash that like button.
Challenging you guys right now. Can we please get 500,000 likes on this video?
So, one thing about this space is a studio apartment, so it's a little bit smaller than even the apartments that I've been used to in the past. And the other thing that makes it really difficult is I just feel crammed in here. As I get stuff in, as I order stuff, it gets harder and harder to live within this space because it is so much smaller. And it's not even just that it's smaller, because the new spot that I'm moving into isn't necessarily huge. It's just set up where it has a separate room, and I don't know, it just feels like here, anything that happens, if I make a mess or whatever, like every time I do an unboxing, my apartment is just completely shit. It's in shambles. But when you walk in, the first thing that most people notice are all the little ornaments or things on the wall. I think the first thing that people notice that they're kind of intrigued by is the plant wall, and they always ask whether the plants are fake. The vines are actually real. Those actually go all the way from my window and they stretch over my TV and they kind of go down, and I just like having those offset the fake plants that are actually attached to the wall because it makes it look a little bit more real when you have those vines going through it. But I have convinced a lot of people that these are real plants. Now they are not. Like I said, the only thing real are the vines, and I do plan on buying some other real plants, and I plan on doing a little wall setup similar to this in my new apartment. Of course, you see the 100K plaque, and in front of this plant wall is my computer setup. We'll get to the computer setup in a moment, but if you look to the other side of my studio, you will see that there are a bunch of graffiti little carpet things on the wall. Now you might be asking why you have carpet on the wall. Basically, the reason I have carpet on the wall is because carpet is a lot cheaper than canvas, and when a friend of mine, Keith, or you guys may know him as Stunaman from the pack, came to Tacoma, he actually hooked me up with this painting right here, and I thought it was a really unique idea to do that on carpet. It's kind of a cheap alternative to put like unique art on your walls. So after that, I had my friend Carlos actually do a bunch of tagging on like different pieces of carpet. We cut them up and he just tagged different things, whether it be the neighborhood that I'm from, the street that I was raised on, different things or brands that I'm affiliated with. Now before he did the carpet, I actually had him do this door. A lot of people love this door. As you can see, if you look, it says Tac Town, T-A-C-T-O-W-N, which is kind of a nickname for Tacoma, Washington, where I'm from. It has a bunch of other stuff tagged on there, and then on the back side of the door, it has a bunch of brands that I like, whether it be Supreme, FTP, Palace, Born and Raised, I think it says BXR actually, but it has a bunch of different brands that I like and that I support, and it's kind of fitting that it's on the back side because on the back side of that door, when you open that door, it leads to the walk-in closet. Now, when people first saw this, they asked if I tagged personally. I do not tag. I actually made a joke that I should start tagging. I enjoy doing it when we set up the stuff for the Fredo FTP picture. However, yeah, I don't know. It's something that I've never really learned, but it's something that I'm definitely interested in. And there's a lot of streetwear brands that I actually follow that I have love for that kind of came from the graffiti scene, one of those being Rebel 8. Now, although I have a walk-in closet, this is nowhere near enough space for all of my clothes. I have way too many clothes. I know this might sound weird to say, but it actually somewhat gets overwhelming having so many clothes because it's just, I get clothes and I have nowhere to put them. However, something that's extremely helpful are these, like, I guess, hang closet things. I don't really know what to call them, but essentially they are clothes hangers. Now they did come with this cover that you can put them in. Now I only use the cover on one, and that's the one that you cannot see usually in the background of my videos, and the reason for that is because I don't think it looks as cool, but I put all of my whites in there so that way when I have my window open and my fan blowing, the dust does not get all over my white clothes, because it's really hard to keep this place clean. Like, dust is always coming into my apartment and infiltrating every surface of this freaking living establishment. But yeah, anyways, that is still not enough. However, if you look, I don't have enough shelf space. I don't have anywhere near enough space. In fact, one of the things you guys don't see is that a lot of the shelves that I have that are underneath the camera are extremely cluttered. There's electronics or camera accessories or freaking bullets, whatever, just stored randomly throughout all of those. But I try to make it a little bit cleaner, so I actually store shoes in there, and then in front of those shoes I put records. Now these are all records that kind of relate to me personally. For example, the Bone Thugs-n-Harmony Look Into My Eyes record, that was actually my first CD ever. And then we have a Palace record. I got a couple other records that I don't have displayed, but those are like the main records that I put on display, and it just kind of helps cover things up and look a little bit cleaner. Now above that shelf we have a bunch of different stuff. We have mementos from my grandfather, we have a little jewelry case, we got candles, we have things that I've gotten from traveling, like this skull that I bought in Barcelona. The only things that I really care about on this table are probably the mementos from my grandfather. There's a clock that he actually rebuilt that no longer works, and then there's a pocket watch that he was working on before he passed away, and this was actually the last project he was working on before he died. Now on this wall there's two things that people notice. There are a bunch of like Kanye West art pieces. They're from the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy record, and if you've purchased the CD you know it came with basically these exact same things except in the size of a CD. Now the other thing people notice is the painting from my grandmother, and my grandma's like a really dope artist. She creates a bunch of stuff actually. She also created this piece, which is on the other side of that wall. One thing I really like about this side of the wall, or a piece that I'm really stoked to have, is actually this Scarface lamp. This lamp is so freaking sick. This is the Supreme Scarface lamp, and originally they actually made this lamp, I believe it was like a Universal Studios thing, and I don't know what it sold for, but I actually had to get this lamp off StockX because I took the L the day of the drop. Now I have some other pieces on my wall, like some posters from Rebel 8. As I mentioned before, Rebel 8's a super dope streetwear brand. I have the Supreme bamboo curtain, which is a pretty sought after Supreme accessory. Now going to the back of the room, you will notice that I have my shoes on display, and once again I have some more of those like fake wall plants. Those are also from IKEA. They're like $5 a piece, and I've spent like $300 or $400 on these things. This wall I keep a little bit more clean, a little bit less cluttered, and the reason for that is because it's in the background of my videos. Although you don't really see it too much because usually it's really blurred, or I'm covering it, or I'm in the way of it, I just still feel like if I get up and it's really cluttered, it's just not gonna look good. Now one of my issues is my space is not very, I don't know, it doesn't feel open, and that's one of the things I want to change when I move. I want to have a lot less clutter. Although I like a lot of this stuff, I just feel like my space feels very claustrophobic almost, because there is so much stuff in here. On every wall there is stuff, and I love it because a lot of the stuff has personal meaning to me. However, it's just, I don't know, man. I just feel like trapped in here, and I just feel like there's not much space to do anything. I did take a lot of my older paintings down. I had paintings from friends or ex-girlfriends or whatever. Now the only other space I haven't really talked about yet is my entertainment center. Now this entertainment center is just a perfect representation of what kind of person I am. I know people watch the videos and they think that I'm all about just spending tons of money, and I try to encourage you guys, like I tell you guys all the time, you guys don't need to spend a bunch of money on clothes. I spend a lot of money on clothes, but that's because it's a business. I love these clothes, however, I don't need 80 freaking jackets. But I am the type of person that usually I will try to save money. For example, with this little entertainment center here, I actually went to Home Depot. I bought an 8-foot board that I had them cut in half, and then I got some bricks and I stacked the bricks up, and I put those two boards basically on each side of the brick, so one on the bottom and one on the top, and it gave me a little space in between to put my old Xbox and my old PlayStation. Up top I have a sound bar, I have the wall mounted television. This TV is a little bit older, I actually just got a new one for the new apartment. And then on this I have a couple little mementos, like I have a Tacoma Rockets little hockey stick. I got this from the Bro Hoodie Coup. I also have a couple little mementos from when I was in Afghanistan. For example, I have this 105 shell. I also have like a little pin, and this pin is actually essentially almost like a grenade pin, but for bigger bombs, like GBU insert number here. I don't remember the number that I don't remember exactly the bomb that this pin came off of. And once again, you can see this is kind of a space that gets cluttered. There's a lot of different little things on there, and I don't really care for that. Like I said, my next space, I'm hoping to not have nearly as much clutter. I'm hoping to have a lot more free space. I'm looking around my room, and I guess that's most of everything. I mean, I do have this thing right here, and that has the FTP fucked little ceramic incense burner. It's got a couple other little things like this born and raised coin pouch that was actually given to me from Two Tone, and back in the day they would fill that up with coins and they would use that to beat people with. Have like a little Supreme ashtray or whatever that I store jewelry on, and I know I have the jewelry holder on the other table, but this is kind of jewelry that I use more, and so I don't really like opening that thing all the time. A bunch of other miscellaneous accessories like the Supreme lock box, the Supreme bling box towel. By the way, the Supreme bling box is one of my favorite box logos. I've mentioned that before. I'm not a huge fan of box logos, but I do really like that box logo. Oh man, so that is basically it, man. That is my lovely abode, my home, my place of residence, and my crib. So now get the fuck out. Just kidding, this isn't MTV Cribs, but I'm really excited to move. I've got hardwood flooring. I have a little bit more space, not a whole lot, and I think it'll be a nice little fresh start, because like I said, every time I get new stuff in, it's like I'm playing Tetris, trying to figure out where I can squeeze stuff and where I can fit it. Literally right now, my kitchen looks like a scene from Hoarders, and I have bags and I have boxes of stuff stored in cabinets because I don't use all my cabinets. So it's like, trust me, it is hectic, and I'm just so excited to move and have a fresh start. Now, as I said, since I'm moving, if you guys would like to see a sneaker collection video or Supreme collection video and a new apartment setup room tour, smash that like button down below. Since I'm sorting everything, it might be a little bit easier of a time to do so. The sneaker collection video I definitely need to do ASAP, because I've been meaning to do an updated sneaker collection video for quite some time. Anyways, hopefully you guys like the room. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys get any inspiration on how to change your setup, or, you know, alter your setup, do some cool stuff to your room. And yeah, man, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it from the top and bottom of my heart, and peace the fuck out.